name is Jason J. Rock Houston, and you're listening to Catachrist Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.catachrist.com. And today we're speaking with two of the members of Images of Eden, and I'm speaking with drummer Steve Dorsum and lead singer Gordon Titsworth. I've talked to you guys previously, I think last year. It's great to be talking to you again. So right off the bat, I understand you have a new album coming out called Angerborn, and it's coming out March 26th. So what else can you guys tell us about the new CD as far as like how many songs are on it and all that?
Yeah, sure. This is Gordon. Actually, it's Angelborn.
Angelborn, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. 12 CDs to follow up to our 2018 release,
Wow.
Soul Rise, which I know that's when we actually talked to you last time.
Yeah.
So, we got 12 songs. Matter of fact, it was supposed to be 11 songs, and we actually did a remake of a classic Triumph song, Fight the Good Fight. Wasn't even supposed to be on the album, but our label really liked it a lot and said, listen, guys, consider putting this on the album. So we threw it on, and, there you have it.
Now, I checked out the video for that, and prepping for this today. Let me ask you guys, now, was that a song that you kind of like demoed or just kind of recorded as an extra track? It's been laying around for a while, or did somebody turn you on to a song and say, hey, why don't you guys do this?
Well, yeah, that's funny you asked that, and this is Steve, by the way, and no, we did not have this thing recorded and laying around. This was kind of like Gordon said, an afterthought to the record, although we were toying with the idea when we were approaching the start of the recording of Angelborn.
Okay.
We were like, hey, we're not much of a band that does cover tunes, really, but that song, for some reason, hit me in the face and said, you need to do this song, or at least talk to Gordon about it and consider it. For one, the message fits what we do. What we say in our music totally fits. And then the times we're in right now.
Oh, so true.
The whole world is facing. Wow, what an anthem that is. Fight the Good Fight. That's for everyone.
And what I love about you guys covering this song is a couple things. I mean, you didn't go with an obvious choice like maybe, okay, we're going to do a Guns N' Roses tribute. We're going to cover the Dors or something, a song that everybody's heard of millions. And what I love, when I was coming up like in the 70s and 80s, I mean, Triumph was much bigger, at those times than they are now. And sadly, Triumph's got a lot of, if you go into the history and you like even just get their greatest hits, and you'll be reminded of how many great hits Triumph really had. They were much bigger at the time. And sadly, they're one of those bands that have kind of been, I think, by many people forgotten about. So I thank you guys for choosing a Triumph song to cover, because I think when they check out your version, a lot of people are going to go back and, this is a band that originally did this. How cool,
Yeah, like I said, we weren't trying to find a song to do cover-wise. That's not what we were trying to do. This song kind of reached out and smacked us like, hey, if you're going to do a cover, this is the one to do.
Yeah.
And it kind of opened my eyes up into doing the cover, for one.
Yeah.
And then we talked about it and said, hey, that would be awesome to do. And so we started working on it.
And I'm curious.
And then as we started working on it, the thing really came to life.
Yeah.
A lot of magic happened within that song. And we wanted to remake it IOE style.
Cool.
At the same time, we wanted to balance that tightrope to keep that classic structure intact. That was very important to do.
Now let me ask you guys.
It's very tough to do such a intricate cover song and pull it off well. It was hard to do, but I think we did a pretty good job of it. And then the video treatment all by itself, we were just trying to show basically the struggles of a musician's life.
You
wake up in the morning, it's a thankless job, it's a hard road.
It really is.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it really is. I mean, I guess too, what I was asking is, were either of you guys like growing up much of a fan of Triumph, or did you kind of just recently get turned on to them?
Well, no, me personally, I mean, they were in a heavy radio rotation back in the day.
They were even on MTV.
They weren't one of my favorites.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
That would be like Iron Maiden or something like that. But they were always there, great band. And it's just like I said, this message and that song, our times that we're in now, it just fit.
Iron Maiden.
And then in our video, we just tried to show the picture of the struggles and everything that it takes just to make it to the stage.
Yeah,
show the fans that.
Yeah.
So we always alluded to not being on stage, but always trying to get there. If you see in the video,
yeah,
there's a lot of things that happen.
Yeah, Iron Maiden is an interesting band to talk about because I mean, I don't know like how deep your love for Iron Maiden goes, but I mean, for one thing, one of their early like the second album, I think it was celebrating. It's the Killers album we're talking about now. It's celebrating like 40 years this year, if you can believe that. That's how that band is.
Yep.
And they're also up to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm waiting to see if they get in because, like Judas Priest before, I mean, both these bands have been nominated several times and never got in. So we will see,
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, I'd like to go on record by saying, number one, the fact that Iron Maiden is not the fact that they weren't inducted year one just makes me sick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on, let's be real here. Iron Maiden's the biggest hard rock band of all time, and as far as I've been a huge Maiden fan for an extremely long time, but yeah, I totally agree with you, man.
Yeah, and getting back to what you're talking about, why you released, chose that song by Triumph to cover "Fight the Good Fight." I hear a lot of what you guys are saying, and I think, and you can answer me if this is true, especially what everybody's been going through with this pandemic and COVID over the last year, with a lot of things being locked down. I mean, nobody's, really what you guys are saying has really come to light as far as, all the hard work that goes into being a musician, kind of how a lot of people don't realize what an important job. I mean, even down to the politicians where they don't seem to care about that, well, these are just musicians been out of work. Oh, they can get other jobs,
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize, because like a lot of these politicians that are into locking everything down, they're still getting a paycheck. They haven't had to stay home and not collect a paycheck for the last year, like a lot of people. And so they get on TV and say, oh, you can just go get another job. They haven't lived the life that a lot of people. I mean, being a musician is hard to begin with, but when they lock down all the clubs and arenas and stadiums, and you're told can't have any concerts, what do you do?
Yeah, could you imagine life just without music, without some kind of rhyme of music in your life? Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
these politicians would fall flat on their face too.
Yeah,
they rely on it. Everybody relies on it. Everybody needs it, but they just don't really know it.
And I will say, I will tell you guys.
I mean, could you imagine?
No, I will tell you guys. I mean, all these guys that want to lock everything down and tell you to stay home, but they don't want to stay home. I mean, I really think that until they, they should maybe force not to be, make them live on welfare, make them not take a paycheck until, and they could see, but more to what you're saying, I mean, not just in concerts, but entertainment in general. I mean, I live in Southern California, Los Angeles, heart of Hollywood, so to speak, the movie industry, the TV industry, just entertainment in general. And finally in Los Angeles this week, they're opening some of the movie theaters back. I mean, I cannot believe.
Wow, that's huge for you guys. You've been shut down forever.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe haven't been able to go to a movie in a whole year. And I have people telling you, oh, just get Netflix, watch it. To me, it's not the same experience. I mean, and even at first, my job was locked down. I'm back to working from home, but I go in there 2 days a week, and even the 2 days I get to go, it's like I get to get out of the house. Get to see some people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can imagine that's a band like you guys. That's your bread and butter, getting out there and doing these live concerts. So, tell me, Stephen Gordon, what has that been like for you, not being able to even get out there and tour?
Well, go ahead, Gordon. But you're going to say the same thing I'm going to say. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny because literally a year ago tomorrow.
Yeah.
We were all in Phoenix shooting our video for Autumn is Burning, and I was right in the middle of my desert crawl scene when we got a text from back home basically saying everything's shutting down.
Wow.
Now, it was kind of weird because we had a lot going on at that trip to Phoenix last year. We filmed 2 videos and got a lot of things done. So when we got back home, everything was shut down. And I've got an extreme opinion on it. I won't go into it.
Yeah.
But let's just say I don't agree with anything that happened. I'll leave it alone.
Yeah.
Now the kind of silver lining I think that Steve would probably also agree with is because everything was shut down, it gave us a lot of time to finish tracking Angel Born, to for me finishing up my vocals, mixing it. getting all of our chess pieces in place, kind of
finishing all the
redoing
videos and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a lot of time, a lot of downtime during the pandemic shutdown to get all of our chess pieces in place and get ready. So we're in an incredibly good spot right now. And I would even say we're probably in a better spot right now, considering the pandemic and everything that happened. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, we're a very uplifting band, and we try to pull the inspiration, the hope, the strength, all that good stuff, especially in dark times. We can't find a darker time in history than right now.
Oh, I don't think so.
We really feel like that this is the time when the world needs this message. So
this is what IOE was built for, right here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we really need music. We need really all forms of entertainment. I mean, I remember, like I say, even up till a year ago, like, you know, if just to get out of the house, let's go see a movie, or let's go to a concert, or I can go buy the new, you know, this new CD. And you had a lot of bands, which, you know, my next point, I dig the kind of route you guys chose to take, because a lot of bands were under the kind of had the attitude that, well, they're going to lock everything down. We can't go out on tour, do any live shows. We're just not going to release anything until after this all ends. And there were some bands like you guys that kind of had the attitude, well, you know, we're going to forge ahead. We're going to continue to write music. We're going to get in there and record something, you know, to put some new music out for our fans. And, you know, it's one of those things where you guys kind of took the approach, you know, we can't get out there and tour right now, but we're going to do what we can. We're going to, you know, still create new music instead of just not putting anything out there, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah. And beyond that, I mean, we've worked on, right now for even Angel Born's follow-up album, there are 10 songs that are that have working arrangements right now that we're already starting to dive in. I mean, the earlier we start, because we always know everything takes forever. Earlier we start, the quicker the follow-up will be.
Yeah, and
the whole shutdown has not hurt us yet. But things are getting better, and hopefully by the end of the summer we should be rolling, I hope. But if we can't tour on Angel Born this year, then it would be a little bit of a problem for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we really want to tour on this record, and we will. Yeah. It's only a matter of time. I just hope it happens this year, at least the last quarter of this year. And we're targeting, you know, into the summer. Things are supposed to be getting better and back to normal, so to speak. So we'll see. That's the target. Maybe this fall, if it all works out, you might see us on the road. Yeah,
where are you guys based out of? Like, where's your home based?
Well, we call Phoenix, Arizona our home base.
Interesting.
That's where I live. Yeah. That's where all of our production, our practice room is. A couple of the other guys live here, Victor Morell, Michael Wolf. But then Gordon lives back in PA. Eric lives in Michigan. Dean lives in Baltimore. So, in essence, we're kind of scattered out a little bit. But, I mean, we talk to each other every day. It's pretty seamless, really. I mean, everything is.
Wow. You know, I'm talking about another legendary rocker from Arizona, Alice Cooper, and, you know, talking about some new music. He just put out a great new CD called Detroit Stories, and it's got 15 great new songs on it, and I just
it never stops, I tell you.
Yeah. I mean, when you stop and think, that man's, you know, he's in his 70s, and he's still creating new music. He's still, you know, when he was able to still going out there live and doing his thing, and you've never seen Alice. I mean, it's like nothing you'd ever seen before live.
Yeah, he's a great community member out here. He does a lot for the kids. He has a teen center here that he built with his wife. Yeah. And it has everything in there, from recording studios, dance studios, DJ studios, and they teach all the kids everything. They have a live stage. Really great place. So they have all the kids come there instead of hitting the streets. They come down there and learn something.
And then, you know, the other thing I hate about, you know, all the lockdown stuff that we've been going through this last year is so many people make it a political issue to the point of, like, even the thought of going to a concert. I mean, some places, like you said, have already opened. I mean, places like Florida's been open for, you know, they never really locked down too much. And I mean, you go there and everything's open, and you think, and somebody like me living in California stop and think, well, they can do like that in Florida. Why can't we do the same thing? Yeah. And you got the politicians like just wanting to lock everybody down, and even, you know, in some states where they're able to, you know, people are able to have concerts and have their live shows and stuff. You got people getting on the internet and trashing like a band like they were up on stage, they weren't wearing a mask, or they didn't make people wear a mask. I mean, you're trying to.
Unfortunately, from here on out, you're gonna have one side and the other side.
Yeah, but you know. So my question to you guys in regards to that, have you given any thought to when you do start doing like live shows? I mean, does it kind of depend, like what state you're playing or what the location is? Like, I mean, if you're able to have a concert where they're not going to require you to be up on stage wearing a mask, what's your thoughts on that?
We're not going to wear a mask on stage.
No,
we don't play.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not going to happen.
That's perfectly a simple statement right there. We can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I'm the drummer. I will not make it through one song with that freaking thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I have to work with it out here right now, and I'm having issues because of it. And my doctor's saying, take that thing off. I mean, I can't wear it no more, man.
I mean, just
puffing and puffing.
I mean, you want to talk about social distance? I mean, for you guys, like, I think when you're on the stage, there's enough of distance between you and the person in the audience, as far as people catching some. But I would think there's more of a danger of a little stage where you guys are so tight up there. But I really think people are going to start when they go back to more being of a normal life. I mean, going to start seeing a lot of this stuff is just being scared and people not really knowing what's what.
and listen, don't get me wrong about my comment earlier.
No.
I'm not being disrespectful
to
those who have to, because I'm wearing a mask. My family, we're all playing by the rules.
Yeah.
We all do. We don't like it, but we're playing by the rules.
Yeah.
We can't perform with the mask on physically. We just can't. And we're not trying to be disrespectful and stand up and say, screw the mask. Listen, we're team play. We're trying to bring America back, the world back like anybody else.
I mean, I'm with you guys as far as...
we agree with everything, that's a whole other story, but we just physically can't perform with the mask on.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you, that's why I was asking. I've been talking to a lot of guys like you that play in bands, and they tell me the same thing, and I kind of... I'm with you guys on this, that, 2 days a week when I go into work and they require you to wear a mask, I wear a mask while I'm there. I don't, when I go into the store, okay, I got my mask on. When I'm driving in the car, or when I'm in my own house, I don't have it on. I mean, and it's kind of sad because I have a friend who he watches the TV and he really believes everything that they spew on TV, and he's like, even in his house, he'll wear 3 masks. And I say, okay, that's your right to do that, but I don't think you really need 3 masks on. But you got people like that are so scared that. And I just bring it up because... it'll probably be that way for a little while until either they get a vaccination and they feel better about everything because of that, or, they'll see that everything's just coming back to somewhat of a normal. But, it's just what a crazy time. Huh? What a crazy time. And I don't mean to put you guys on the spot, but it's interesting when you stop and think, this has been going on for the last year. And, a year ago, who would have thought that you'd ever have a time where things like a movie theater would be locked down, or people would tell you what you could and couldn't do. I mean, we're living in the United States, but because of what we've been through over this last year, you kind of, at least I have come to realize the little things in life that I used to take for granted, the little things that you didn't realize could change like that.
Well, I think a lot of people feel that way right now,
Yeah.
And when things do come back, well, granted one thing, everybody knows how to wash their hands now, I hope, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing.
There's no bigger germ freaks than me and Gordon. We keep clean, that's why we stay well. But we're not afraid, okay?
Yeah.
We just keep clean, and, we know what to touch and whatnot. We get it. We get all that.
Yeah.
We don't like to catch colds or get the flu.
Who does?
But,
I tell you what.
I don't know, man.
I tell you what, if you don't mind, I'd just like to throw my little 2 cents in here, and then
sure.
Put the period on the whole COVID thing, only because I know everybody doesn't want to hear about that.
Sure.
Bottom line is this, man. It's been a year ago tomorrow. Congratulations, day 365 of
we made it. Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Now, beyond that, what are we going to do after everybody lives in a bubble and they open the world back up? Everybody's going to get sick because we've just weakened our immune systems by living in a bubble. I don't believe in any of this crap that they're telling us. Not one thing. This thing was planned. It was unleashed on us.
Yeah.
Anybody can believe what they want to believe. But bottom line is, man, I can't even give any more free real estate to this planned government overreach than I already have, man. So, But what we're going to do right now, I'll tell you that, is we're bringing Angel Born to the whole world for just what it is. It's healing. It's soothing. It's what you need.
And believe me, it's healed me. I'm the drummer, and I'm the biggest fan. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's no lie. I mean, when people feel what we feel on this, it's going to change them. Okay, and I think it'll make a better place.
Now, Angelborn, without having even heard the entire album, I just love the title. So talk a little bit about that, because I think it's kind of it just kind of says it all, I guess.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, there's actually a dual sort of running theme across this album. It is basically one of a couple of things. It's about healing from loss.
Yeah.
It's about grieving, mourning, and kind of healing, getting through, the worst feeling of grief that you've ever had in your life, and to get confirmation that your loved ones are in a good place. That's one kind of ongoing running theme. The other running theme is sort of like how the world has sort of soured us. We were born as perfect angels, man. We were born without hate, without bias, without anything wrong, and we see how the world kind of ruins that purity over time. And one of the recurring themes is, take a look in the mirror now. You're going to see a lot of things that you might not like about yourself.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, you're always, we're loved unconditionally. Regardless of what you think of yourself, let that go, because you're loved unconditionally by the one who created you. And it's basically, it is more or less healing to people who have either lost someone close to them, or healing to someone who just needs it because they've been broken down, whether they have been physically abused, mentally abused, just beaten down till they have no self-worth, no self-esteem. It's basically saying, no, don't listen to those who have beaten you down. There's specific songs that are about that. So when you look at the title, Angelborn, it could be done. You could look at it a couple ways. If you're dealing with some bad grief or some really horrendous grief, your loved one is now the new angel that is born. If you are one who has been beaten down and you need healing because of your past, you have to remember that when you were born as a perfect angel. Faultless, spotless, the whole 9 yards. So it's kind of the actual album title kind of fits with both themes.
Oh, that's interesting, and and I'm with you as far as putting a period on the COVID. The only reason I brought it up is because just to make the point of what we were saying is, just in general, like what a tough job you guys as musicians have, and to add that to what just to that, whereas before it used to be a lot easier for you guys to go out and get a gig, and who knows what's going to be like. And if you guys thought, like, as a band, or you or your managers or people that book the shows, are you starting to look at like different states that are opening up, or do you want to wait till your local area starts? Like, what are your plans as far as getting out and doing that?
What we're going to do is we're going to let the album release. We're going to let it breathe. We're going to let it chart on radio. We're going to wait for some things to open up, because we want to book a tour. So we're not going to focus on just one state. So we all get together and load up. We're going out for a full U.S. run. So we're working on that behind the scenes right now. Okay, with our record label. And so we just got to kind of wait for things to develop, which, like I said, by the end of the summer, things are on. And I just see some other bigger bands out there and announcing some tours for August, September on. So I know venues are starting to book. So things are happening right now behind the scenes, I can bet you. So hopefully, we'll know something beginning of summer, what we're going to do this fall.
So let me ask you,
Jason, I'd like to add to that if I could, man, because you're in California, I'm in Pennsylvania. We have two of the three most super ultra globalist Luciferian governors of all time. I've got Tom Wolfe here in Pennsylvania. If he had it his way, he'd shut everything down until the entire state was bankrupt. He wants to ruin us, and I know your governor's the same, and so is Cuomo in New York. But you figure if I even remotely see things opening up in Pennsylvania, I know the rest of the world is open.
I'm with you there.
Right. I mean, he's got a good measuring stick right there where he lives.
Exactly.
I'm with you there. I mean, I was getting on the internet today because I heard, stuff was starting to open. There's like one movie theater finally right down the street. Okay, they're going to open up Friday. So like even that, I'm planning for Friday. Okay, I'm going to go do that.
Well, that's huge for you guys out there, because we were out there just late October finishing our album mix.
Yeah.
And gosh, it was hard just to go get something to eat somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I mean the big business out here is even just going to a restaurant to order something curbside and take it home. I mean, it's kind of like the second stop of a drive-through. Like, okay, park the car and you wait for your food, and it's something new. And the one thing I do like that's ingenious about that is it's given businesses new ways to find new ways, like different types of services. And then of course the outdoor dining was doing really, really good here for a while. And then the governor, like you said, closed that up. Almost like when I don't know what they have against small business. Almost like when they've seen places where making good money doing that. Oh no, we can't have that. I mean, there's a place. And talking about concerts and stuff, there's a club down here, like in Long Beach where I live, right down the street, 5 minutes away. What they started doing is because they have a great outdoor dining area, so they put a lot of tables outside. And this was in the summer when it was nice warm weather, and they would have the bands go inside the club and perform, and then they'd have everybody, they project it like on a movie screen, so you go watch the concert kind of out in the parking lot. It's not your ideal situation, but it's like, hey, okay, that's a great way to still get out there and kind of get entertained. And they even had movie nights, and then they shut that down because they were, I guess they were doing too good of a business. But and that's
that's good news for you guys that a few things are opening out there. That means Arizona, same way. Things are really starting to kind of bump up. Texas is totally open.
Yeah.
So it's coming. So we're only in mid-March right now. So,
it's on the way.
Things should be all right, man.
And final question for you guys regarding the current situation. Some of the bands have been doing like these special streaming events online. And I was curious if you guys thought about possibly doing that, or what are your thoughts on it?
We thought about it, but it's just not our MO of delivery to the fans.
Yeah.
So we're just going to wait. We're just going to wait and do it right.
I kind of think that's...
For our delivery, we have to get right there and hand it to you.
I kind of think...
What would you say, Gordon?
I mean, our whole thing was we were actually approached to do sort of a live stream thing, and basically our thought was, we don't want to feed into this. We want to try to just ride this out and not feed into it. I mean, you see bands that get these masks with their logo on them. I'm not judging anybody, but basically what you're saying is, well, we have resolved to the fact that this is our new normal and this is the way it's always going to be, and we have been dead set against that. Now we comply because we have to.
But
no choice. At the end of the day, we're not going to be saying, hey, we agree with this, and I don't know, we just decided against like a whatever you want to call it, like a virtual jam session. We're just like, you're going to get us live, or you're not getting us. We're not drinking the Kool-Aid, so to speak.
And like I said, it's something that we have to deliver live there in person. That's how personable this stuff is. So it's no problem. We'll wait.
I'm with you guys. You know why? Because I had the pleasure of interviewing John Bush, the lead singer for Armored Saint, and he was telling me that
awesome guy.
He was telling me they did a live stream event down at the Whiskey, and he said
I saw it.
He said it was a great thing. He says the only thing is, he goes, as a performer, it's kind of weird to be up on stage, and you're kind of going through all the moves, and yet you don't have a kind of roar of a crowd to feed off of,
you can tell it was awkward between songs because you gotta kind of like get it together and talk for a couple minutes,
and there's nobody really there.
But they did a great job. Let me tell you, I saw the live stream. Armored Saint's one of my favorites, and we know Gonzo and those great guys. Awesome new record they got. I have to plug that because it is good. And they did a good job on the performance. I was very pleased with it, but I can't wait to see those guys live. That's another band that they got to deliver live, Oh,
yeah. And before we wrap this up, because I know you guys are busy, I just want to say a few more things. Kind of what we've been talking about today, I think this kind of goes hand in hand with what you were saying about, why you covered that Triumph song, because, to show the world really what really the life of what a musician goes through, and what a job as a musician is really like, behind the scenes. It's not all glamour. And I think in many ways, like, when I was growing up, probably you guys were growing up, and you used to hear about, the PMRC and wanting to put labels on all these records, and wanting to ban Ozzy Osbourne records and videos and stuff. I mean, I thought that was pretty, pretty historical in its day. But I mean, I think what we're going through right now, you guys are really, I guess you're one of the bands that I could say is really fighting for, metal or rock and roll, whatever you want to say, just to kind of keep it out there. I mean, I think this is a lot more than just putting a sticker on the record. This is you guys fighting for your livelihood.
Oh, it's right, all of us standing on top of the mountain with our hand over our hearts, standing for what's right.
And and I want people to know that you guys are on a great little label, Pavement Entertainment. What I think I told you guys when I interviewed this, I just love the label for the fact that Tim King, the bass player from Soil, he's one of the guys that owns the label, and he's in this super heavy metal band, but on that label they've got everything from like you guys to Soil, obviously, Candlebox. Candlebox was like a kind of popular alternative band from the 90s. They're back, came back a few years ago, so I dig the fact that they don't, it's like not just a metal label, they've got everything under the sun as far as different types of bands on there.
Yeah, they're Tim and Mark both are super great guys to work for and work with.
Yeah.
And we make a great team. We get along great. We see eye to eye on everything. Yeah. We're just trying to do something great together right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys are going to like hearing this, but I really want people, when they check out Images of Eden, not just check out the new album, but go back and check stuff that you put out before, even the last album, because what I dig about, I didn't hear nothing about you guys until the last time I interviewed you. I think you said it was 2018 when the last album came out, and when you're listening to a band for the first time, you kind of try to think, who do these guys sound like? And what impressed me was, I mean, you got elements of alternative, you got elements of metal and hard rock and all that, but I couldn't really pigeonhole you guys. I couldn't really say, oh, they sound like Metallica, they sound like Motley Crue or whatever. You guys really had your own original sound. I was curious, is that something you guys kind of set out to do, or is that just kind of a way the music came out?
Rich, here's what I have to tell you, and I'm glad you mentioned previous releases. Many people don't know this, but Angel Born is actually our 5th album.
Wow.
Soul Rise being our 4th. Now, before Soul Rise, we actually went through a massive transformation. Basically, the entire lineup changed except for Dean Harris and myself. And weirdly enough, my style of writing sort of changed. I mean, the first 3 albums were a little more on the lines of being progressive, with longer songs, twists and turns. Rebuilding the Ruins, our 3rd album, you basically need Dramamine by you get to the end of that album. Yeah. But it's sort of like something in my hard wiring changed after that album, and it's just I like a sort of a more modern, heavier chunk. I moved to a 7-string, drop A tuning, and that definitely changed things a lot right there. But even doing that, I mean, just my original wiring changed. So I always just sort of wrote what came to me. And the way it naturally came out, but weirdly enough, that natural style shifted after 2011. And but yeah, to answer your question, just sort of we lay down what feels right, and I know it's right. I'll feel it and I'll know when it's right. If something is tapping at me, I have to go in and fix something, but I'll know when it's right, and I'll shoot it over to Steve. And the good thing is, it's like Steve and I are totally on the same page. Yeah. If there's something that doesn't feel right on his end, he'll tell me, because I'll kind of do the demo, shoot it off to him to do the drums, and then I'll, tweak the guitar and all. He'll say, hey, this one part, whatever, he'll make his note. And
now Gordon, how much of that do you think has to do with the fact that I'd imagine in any band that anytime there's just one guy changes in the band, it's going to alter the sound somewhat, because everybody kind of brings their own influence in the band.
And I'll address that one, Gordon, for you, because I'm the recipient of that. So Gordon will structure these songs out that are beautiful, okay? He'll have the great idea, the direction, but what he does is lets everybody blossom within themselves for their own parts, okay? So there's not a strict rule where you stay right down this tight hallway and don't move. No, man, here it is. Be you. Be yourself. Put your thing on it. And that's what everybody does. And I tell you, when all that comes together on top of a great songwriting structure, that's where you get that unique sound that you just can't put your thumb on. I think that's how that all came together.
Let me ask you, Steve.
It takes it all, but with him allowing everybody just to be themselves and put your personality on your part is huge.
Now, let me ask you, Steve. Unless you're talking about like a Tommy Lee or Lars Ulrich, over the top drummer. A lot of drummers just kind of sit there in the back and kind of do their thing. But the last 2 times I've talked to you guys, I mean, you're one guy that seems very involved in, even not being an original member. I dig the fact that, you're so involved in music. Is this like one of the first times you've been in a band where you've been allowed to be so involved and not just have to sit back there?
No, I've been in a few bands in the past, and I would say that I've matured through those younger years to this point to be able to do some of these things that I'm doing with Gordon. But yes and no in the past. Yes and no, but now it's a lot different, and we just all connect together, all of us.
Well, that's great to hear.
A good group of men here, and that's where it starts. Good character people. You got a good group of men, and that's where we start.
And as far as your drumming style, how would you describe that? Like, would you consider yourself? I don't know if I want to say over the top, but like, there are players that kind of just sit there and they play to the song, and there are other guys that are real showmen, say like a Carmine Apiece, and they real physical players. Like, where would you fit in with that?
Well, here's how I attack the song. I'm a vocal person, okay? I really wanted to be a singer back in the day before I became a drummer. So I'm a very vocal-oriented person. I'm driven by that. I'm also driven by really good guitar riffs. So being a drummer, I try to speak with my drums with Gordon's vocals.
Interesting.
With really loving how I connect with the guitar, I try to do the speak really percussive with the guitar riff.
That's probably why you and Gordon
things together. It gives me kind of a new drumming style for IOE.
That's probably why you and Gordon work so well together. And it's interesting to find out that you kind of come from more of a vocal approach because I don't know if you know this or not, but like a lot of famous frontmen like Steven Tyler from Aerosmith, Janie Lane from Warrant were originally drummers before they became. Yeah, even it's just amazing. People don't realize it, and so. From that perspective, you got to kind of have an interesting perspective that you kind of know what it's like to be up in front, and you also have the other perspective of being the guy, in the back of the stage.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing kind of goes for Gordon. I mean, when you call Gordon a singer, he goes, "Oh, thanks, but I'm not really a singer. I'm a guitar player."
Yeah, I started off when I was 13. I started off playing guitar. I just wanted to play heavy guitar and shred. I wanted nothing to do with vocals. Matter of fact, I was dead set against it. I didn't want to be a singer at all. I just wanted to play guitar and just rage.
Did it kind of fall on you just kind of accidentally, like you're the guy that has the best sounding voice out of all?
Necessity. You had to do.
Yeah. It was funny because we were in high school. I think I was about 16 at the time, and we tried out so many singers, and nobody could do what we wanted them to do, so I pretty much just got frustrated and said, well, let me just see if I have any kind of singing voice at all. And first time I opened my mouth, man, I sounded like a circular saw slicing against the blackboard. But I quickly kind of got it to a point to where it was doable, and then I took lessons, and then next thing I know, I'm like, I think I'm digging this more than guitar. Never thought I'd say this, ever. But that's kind of how it went. But I actually started learning all the other instruments, which really helped when we had sort of gaps in musicians and images, because somebody would quit or get fired, and I'd have to kind of cover that for the album. Rebuilding the Ruins, I pretty much did everything again. Sunlight of the Spirit, I had to cover some stuff. So it was just kind of funny because one of the best decisions I ever made was going that route by learning all the instruments, and
I imagine
never knew how well that would work out.
Well, I would think even for when you guys like record stuff, you have a perspective, Gordon, not just as a frontman and lead singer, but you kind of understand, because you can play all those other instruments, what the other guys in the band do, as opposed to just saying, that stinks, or do it this way. You can kind of tell them, no, well, maybe try this or whatever, and you have a perspective, like you said, as a guitar player, a frontman, a bass player maybe, and I really think that's cool. Now, when people start telling you, hey, you got a pretty good voice, were you surprised at that, or do you think you've gotten better over time?
It's kind of funny. Actually, I have a couple response to a couple things you said. But I definitely improved over time. I could hear the improvement. I did okay at first, but I did enough to get by. Lessons got to where I wanted to be. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely a ramp up to that. But to talking about all the instruments, that's when it makes life easier when it comes to writing because I do know how to play all the instruments. I hear the finished song in my head. It's not like I hear a guitar riff or I hear a drum beat or I hear a vocal line. I can literally hear sort of the finished song or the roughed in arrangement with everything together, and then I just sort of lay down what I hear, and I just have the
and he leaves room for the other musicians. With that being said, he knows this part's going to come up for Vic or Dean, and he'll have that all in mind, and it's all the real estate's there for us then.
Now,
I kind of dumb it down. I will kind of dumb it down and not really get too extravagant with the piano part or with the bass or with the drums. I kind of lay down what I'm hearing and say, guys, make it right. I mean, put your stamp on it. Do your thing. If you hear something else, please throw it at the wall. Send it back. Let's see what it sounds like. I mean, we go back and forth, and man, it just works.
We're all on the same page right now. We have a great system developed, and we're scattered all over the country.
Wow,
it's okay. It really works well right now.
And if you guys had any experiences like with Zoom, being that you're in different parts of parts of
Skype and Zoom. Yeah, Skype and Zoom are our best friends. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's where we do our band meetings.
And let me ask you, Gordon, in regards to playing the guitar, like, do you play any like little guitar parts on the album, or do you ever play live?
A couple little ones.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when it comes to the guitar, I don't play live.
Okay.
But in the studio, I play all of the heavy guitar, all of the heavy rhythms.
Wow.
I do most of the acoustic as well, and I do some of the, just the very slow melodic, melodies or harmonies. And the reason why I feel like it's just much easier for me to take it in-house is because as I'm working these arrangements to these songs, there'll come a time where I'll think I have the guitar part down, but when I work like a vocal line or a vocal, it's not. I was like, okay, I wanted to land on this note.
Something's always got to be tweaked as you're going. It just makes life easier for them.
Oh
It's got to tweak it. So rather than going back, hey, can you punch this in? I just do it all because it's much easier. But Victor Morell does all the leads. Victor is an amazing player, man. I mean, he's so good at what he does, and he doesn't just grab the song and just shred. He listens to the song. He says, what does this song need? If it needs a repetitive pattern to make it sound right, that's what he does. If it needs a shred, he does it. If it's a dual harmony that needs to happen, he does it. He kind of really puts a voice to those leads.
Absolutely. Vic did, and this was his first recording with IOE on this record.
Oh, wow.
Did a phenomenal job. He connected with the song. He got his heart connected. He understood everything about it. Then he went and attacked the sleeves.
Wow.
And that shows, because he's had a great understanding of, like Gordon said, how the song needs to breathe, how it needs to flow, what needs to happen. He's got a great connection, and he did just a great job on this record. He made us a lot better as a band. Let me tell you that.
And how new is he?
In the studio, I will say that.
How new is he? To the band? Like, has he performed live at all with you guys, or did he just come in for a?
Yes, Victor has been a friend of mine for 30 years.
Oh wow!
We were in bands together way back in the day, from back in like 1989.
Oh wow!
Okay, so I knew Victor well. Him and I had a great connection together. When it came up that we needed a guitar player, things happen. Victor was always the guy in my mind, on the back of my mind. And I always warned him that too, before the spot even came up. Hey, when the spot comes up, dude, get ready. The spot came up, and he was ready, and he came in, and we got locked in, and he did the record with us. We did one show so far. We did that back late October last year. Here in Phoenix, we did a sold-out show out here. Only performance we did in 2020, but that's okay. We were trying to warm up the Angel Born songs, making sure we're all good to go for the live aspect, and we are. And wow. So anyway, he's a phenomenal member of our band that really just pretty much closed the circle, you know?
Yeah. So on that note, when you guys do get back to performing live, in a more normal capacity, have you given any thought, like, to when you're performing some of the older tunes, like do you want him to kind of play, those classic songs kind of note for note the way they were playing?
Oh yeah, we do. We work hard like that, and he does it.
Good. And
I will tell you that. I was just going to put just kind of another thought on what Steve said. Sorry to cut you off, Jason.
Go ahead.
It's kind of funny. Like, we've known Vic. We've all, both of us have been in a band with Vic, Born of Fire, back in 2014, the Dead Winter Sun album. We know what we're getting into with Vic. We've known Vic forever. And, it's funny because Vic actually toured with us when we went on tour for Soul Rise with Metal Church and Doro.
Oh, cool.
And he was actually our merch guy. And he filled in for Dean on keyboards on a couple of shows, believe it or not.
Yeah, he's very versatile. Yeah.
But the funny thing was, we had a different guitar player then.
Yeah.
And I think, at the beginning of the tour, we didn't really know what was happening or what was going to happen. But as the tour went on, let's just say it, I'm just going to put it this way. It was very, very clear that we needed to bring Vic in very soon, right after the tour. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. And
let me tell you, it was one of the best moves we've ever made.
Wow.
We're so solid now. I mean, I was just thinking about that today before this call.
Yeah.
How Victor's closed our circle and pretty much put the cherry on top of IOE. I mean,
Yes,
we're done
did.
now. We're done.
That's great to hear. Yeah, now I'm talking to you, Gordon, about kind of your transformation from guitar player to frontman. It kind of reminds me of Dave Mustaine, because I've heard him talk in the past about the fact, prior to Megadeth, he was just the lead guitar player in Metallica, which is a pretty big thing. But so when he left, and went on to form Megadeth, originally his thought was having somebody else come in and front the band and be the lead singer. But I mean, that would have been hard to do anyways, because it's Dave's band, it's his. He's the main guy. But he was saying, I had other guys come in on audition, and he says, at that time, I didn't really think I was much of a singer, but he's like, I had these other guys come in, and they're singing, stuff I wrote, and I was finding I was being very, very critical, because, I'm like hearing the song in my head, the way I wrote it, and it's coming out differently, and he said more and more people just, they said, Dave, why don't you give it a shot, and more and more people start, you're a pretty decent singer, and he says, I had no idea I could sing up until then,
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and I could talk to you guys all day. I won't chat your ear off anymore. But it's been really great talking. And the reason we did this is I had fun talking to you guys last time, and I just want to really pump the band and get the word out. And so let's keep in touch. And like I said, the interview will be going up in early April. I'll let you know once it gets posted. Okay. But once I've had a chance to hear the other songs, maybe we could do a follow-up interview.
That was wonderul, and we appreciate your time, dude. Really,
yeah, thank you so much.
And let me ask you guys before I let you go, because maybe for a future thing to do with you, I got a series called On the Record, where we talk to guys like you who, about some of their favorite albums by their favorite bands. Like I think Steve, you were saying you're an Iron Maiden fan, so maybe down the line you and I could do an interview on like your favorite Iron Maiden record, or you pick the record you want to talk about. You too, Gordon, maybe we can do that down the line, so keep that in mind.
Sure, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Okay, you guys take care, and I urge everybody to go get the new album. Angel Born comes out March 26th on Pavement, and follow Images of Eden. You can check them out on Facebook, and you guys have an official site that they could also go to?
Yep, imagesofeden.com. That's our one-stop shop. It links to every single place we're on. Everywhere. So
yeah. And final question for
We're also Images of Eden on the Vivo page that you can find us on there and see the new video, Fight the Good Fight.
And final question for you guys, so everybody can go out and get the new album. What's the best way to do that? I mean, can they get physical copies right now? Is it only available digitally? What's the info on that?
You can pre-order and get 2 Grat tracks right now.
Okay.
Digitally. The album physically will not be on the street until the 26th.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, we definitely look for that. I urge everybody to go out and get it. And Gordon and Steve, thanks for doing this, and I'll talk to you down the line. Thanks so much.
You got it.
Bye-bye.